Hey, what's going on there, guys? Earthmaster here, December 13th, 2017, 11:02 a.m. here on the West Coast, and doing a quick earthquake video update for today. A lot of activity going on near the country of Iran, quite a bit of activity. I'll show you that here in a moment. Right now, seismograph stations look fairly quiet. Starting to see a couple P waves right here on this bottom station here in Wichita Mountains, Oklahoma, show up with the increase in the waviness right here, indicative of a distant earthquake. And those are P waves traveling across the across or through the globe. And this is coming off of a 6.5 earthquake. Show you right here on this map, 6.5 down here on this part of the world. I'll pull this up for you. It's a ways away from Wichita Mountains, but it definitely does make it over there. 6.5 earthquake, 15 kilometers below the surface, near Bouvet Island. I think I pronounced that correctly. Right out here in these fracture zones, quite a few of them down here in this area of the world. This one specifically located in the Bouvet Island fracture zone. You can see right here. Very indicative there. You can see it actually on the background satellite imagery too. Pretty crazy how all that stuff works out there. Anyway, a little island out there as well. I'm sure it's pretty nice and beautiful out there. But definitely they felt that earthquake, no doubt, within this region right here. No tsunami warning with this earthquake, so don't have to worry about anything like that happening. The rest of the globe, activity definitely increasing over there in Iran. This past day, I can bring it back, and well, most of the activity has occurred within the last 24 hours there. Zoom in a tad bit and show you exactly the location of where it's happening at. Actually, I'll just take you over here to this map. If it'll let me. There we go. I'll show you the 6.0 earthquake right here that happened. This here is near Kerman, Iran, at 10 kilometers below the surface. One of the many larger earthquakes that has been occurring over the past 24 hours, taking place out here near the epicenter, out here in this mountain range. Not too familiar with this geographical location out here, but definitely some activity going on out there. Not for sure if they have any type of volcanic activity out there or not, but that star is the location of the epicenter of the 6.0 out there in the desert. Activity in California continues to increase slightly in the northern section of California, and that's all due to the slow slip event movements which has been taking place over the past several days. Actually, I can take you back here and show you the activity that's occurring. And what I mean by slow slip event is the continued detection of movement underneath the surface in the subducting region. In this case, the Cascadia subduction zone, which stretches well up here into Vancouver Island and into parts of northern California. And the Cascadia subduction zone is ultimately getting, well, pressure increase in certain areas due to this activity here in Central Oregon. Now this here is just, well, let's do a date range here. Let's go back date, let's go just back from the 1st to, the 1st to right now. We'll go ahead and check that out real quick to show you guys the increase in activity that has occurred in Central Oregon region there. And it doesn't look like it's letting up. Now this here is the time frame schedule, or summary. Blue earthquakes down here, which we had earlier in December, indicate some slow slip events going on underneath northern California, and of course southern Oregon and up there through Washington and whatnot. But what I'm talking about is even since the first of the year, since the 1st of January 2017, we have not seen a large increase in activity like this at all. It's been gone. I mean, there hasn't been any activity whatsoever. Most of the activity has been confined to the south of this region, into Northern California, and up here to the north of Portland, into Seattle, Tacoma, and up there towards Vancouver Island region. So this cluster of intense earthquake, or slippage event, is definitely something to watch, guys. It's you can see the intensity of it on this scale right here. The density is confined just within the past month to that region there. Some large scale movement being detected. Now this is slow slip events, basically one plate slowly going down underneath the other in the subduction zone, which is Cascadia subduction zone here. And that's only one portion of it right now. Last 48 hours to give you a better idea of, this is just the last 3 hours, folks. Still activity continues as far as tremor detection there in Central Oregon. This here is the last 48 hours. Now you're seeing a little bit of activity in Northern California right here, and this is what I'm talking about. This here tells me that this region, this part of the state, underneath of it, underneath the Pacific part of it, where the subduction part, or North American over here. You got the Pacific plate over here, trying to go underneath the North American plate here. So, and that's what's going on. You're seeing this little activity, which means movement, slow slip event movements, being recorded underneath the surface here. Now that's ultimately going to affect the surface above that subduction zone. In this case, Northern California. You start to see these earthquakes, smaller ones, nothing big yet, but here on the map you can see over the past several days, just another one right now off of the coast down there by Monterey, but mostly confined up here to Northern California. Now you got to remember, this area right here is being pushed up due to the subduction that's going on in the Cascadia subduction zone. And a couple threes up here in Northern California. This one here a couple days ago near Red Bluff, 3.2. Even though this is nothing big, this is just a telltale sign of activity going on underneath the surface that we can't see. That's why they have this subduction zone monitoring here. This real-time tremor map is a really cool map to pay attention to, because when we see activity like this, you want to start paying attention, because movement is going on. And right now, within the last 48 hours, it's large-scale movement, mostly confined to Central Oregon, but also on a bigger scale up through Washington and Northern California. So we're seeing this whole area move. This whole area is continuing to get pressure applied underneath of it, underneath this land, the subducting part. So, therefore we just need to, see what she does. I mean, you never really know. There's always an increased chance of a larger earthquake within that Cascadia subduction zone whenever we see this large slip event movement. Like I say, Central Oregon, we haven't seen that activity. We just haven't seen that type of movement. So that tells me that, it's the pressure is being, increased dramatically. So all we can do is just keep an eye on it, be prepared. As always, have an earthquake plan. And this little earthquake right here off the coast there of San Juan Bautista and Monterey, Point Sur, just a little 2.4, nothing big, but it's an earthquake nonetheless. Some activity, of course, down there south. That's from last week sometime. Things mellowing out a little bit, which is good for them, considering they have all those fires and whatnot down there still burning down there in Southern California. And no rain in sight. Most of the activity is well north, well up into Washington, Canada region, Alaska. All of our rainfall is gone. I mean, we haven't had a drop of rain here in December at all. And that's not good. And the long range forecast models are indicating that we are not going to see any rain. And that really sucks, folks, because I'm a weather guy. I love the weather. This fair weather, sunshine, warm. You know, we've had temperatures near 70 degrees, but at night it drops down to 28 degrees. It was like living out in a desert. You got these warm, hot days, followed by freezing nights. It's crazy. I don't like it. I need rain. I need snow. I need weather. Just no weather here. Anyway, hopefully that will all change next month. But December is looking extraordinarily dry, abnormally dry, and that's not good news at all. So hopefully some of you folks out there know how to do the rain dance and get us some rain out here in California, at least a little bit. I mean, it's not good. But anyway, all that activity over there in Iran is rather interesting, folks. A lot of buildup of pressure in there. Seen quite a few 4s and 5s and 6s. It's just an area to watch as well right there. We haven't seen any large-scale release of pressure in that region. We'll keep an eye on it for sure. Not too many deep earthquakes recently within the past couple days. Absent of deep earthquakes is, well, it's interesting. You kind of look for some deeper movement followed up by some larger earthquakes, but we're not seeing that. Even though we've seen a couple 6s, we just haven't seen that deep activity that we look for prior to any kind of large-scale events there. Beautiful island down there, covered in forever snow. It's not an island, it's actually a continent. Anyway, guys, stay safe out there. I'm having an earthquake plan. And please do a rain dance for us out here in California. We definitely need it. Take care, folks. Be prepared.